Hey Mika, how are you doing? You got me on camera. Murph's dog is
This is Mika.
for those who are watching on YouTube, this is Mika. For those who aren't watching on YouTube and just listening to our voices, Mika is so comfortable right now. You want to describe what Mika looks like, Murph?
She's the most beautiful dog in the world.
And you know what? Leave it at that. People can, whatever you envisioned in your head just then, that's exactly what Mika is.
Exactly what she is.
It's exactly what Mika is. Oh, we back. Welcome back to another episode of the Murph and Martaz and Mika show.
In this next song, you must march around the room. Here we go.
I know what the fuck I'm doing. Just sit down in the chair.
Famous pup.
Famous pup. You're good. You're chilling. Just don't drop any poos here. We're back. We've had a big couple of weeks.
We had a big weekend. We filmed heaps, which it's all been released now, and you've watched all of it. You should have.
You're learning. You learn to talk in the future.
Yeah, talk in the future. We are now 5 weeks in the future.
We're now 5 weeks in the future. But you know what? We're going to keep our shit legit.
Yep.
And we're going to keep it where things are at. So we hope you've all been well and enjoying what we've been putting out lately. It's been a bit different.
I predict we're well in 5 weeks.
My head just went like, what if one of us dies?
Well, let's not think about that. I'm sure we're both very healthy. All three of us here are very healthy, happy.
I hope so.
And still doing what we do.
I hope so. Anyway, welcome back. So, I was thinking about one of the things we discussed last time. I'm just going to pat Mickey this whole time.
Yeah.
We discussed last time, and I want to take it here. I didn't tell you about this in our little pre-show chat.
You know, I don't like it when we just spring shit on Murph.
I know this.
This could be interesting. Let's go.
This isn't about Murph. This is about my taste. Alright, so in one of our chats, which one it was, one of our last episodes, we talked about advice you'd give your younger self. Alright?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
And what would you tell that child? I've been thinking about that. I was like pondering on it. I have a lot of time on the bike, like on the motorbike, and I'm just, you know, you're just literally in your own, like,
it's great.
In your space.
It's such a cathartic thing to do.
In your space, and you got the helmet on, whatever. And I was like, you know what? I didn't like my answer.
You're gonna change. You're gonna retract and go again.
I'm not gonna retract it. I'm gonna add to it.
Okay.
You know, I'm not gonna retract because that answer was the answer that I said. You know, I think I said like I wouldn't change it. I'd say keep going.
Yes,
right?
that was. I think it was a
keep
joint.
Keep doing you. It's a joint thing. Yeah. So I've actually thinking I gotta stop patting Mika because I'm getting too comfortable now. I was like, you know what I think I would say, looking back, if I had to provide some type of advice to that younger Josh, it'd be express your feelings more and actually talk about the shit that you're thinking about, not hold it in or harness it.
You spoke. That's what you're doing now. So you're saying, you know, adopt what you're doing now earlier.
Yeah, adopt what you're doing now earlier.
We
because
did a whole almost. Sure, we did a lot of talk on that.
Long chat.
Using your heart lips.
Heart lips.
I've been waiting to bring that back in. I thought, when am I going to do it? Today was it already. So using your heart lips, and you're saying extra advice to younger Josh is use your heart lips now.
My extra advice to young Josh would be use your heart lips. Yes. I would basically, because what I've discussed it, like, you know, by talking more about what's actually going on internally and not what I think other people are wanting from me, has allowed me to then do different things and feel more congruent to myself.
Yep.
All right. And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying back then I didn't feel congruent to myself. I would just harness a lot of shit and then I would just do my thing. Right? I'd hold everything in and then I just act. Right? Well, here's what I'm going to do. You know. And so what my advice would be talk more about or understand more about how you're feeling and what you're doing. And I would also probably say, you know, start writing more, writing things down, getting it out of your head a little bit more. I would say that. And that was I started writing something. I started writing a bit more when I was like early 20s, right? But I would say start earlier, you know, start early teens, you know, and start putting that stuff out there for yourself. And then if you want to obviously share it, you can share it. But, you know, start earlier and actually talk more about what's going on and why it's going on, so you can then explore that with anyone around you. And not necessarily explore in a way like, oh, let's work through all this stuff, but more like, I feel like this. How do you feel? You know, and see how that allows you to foster deeper and different relationships as you move through your teenage years and as you move through your early 20s and, you know, onwards into life. You know, rather than trying to start this process at 29, 30, 31, 32. You know, that's what I think. So that was a little pondiment I had when I was
Pondiment.
when I was in my helmet.
Cool. I think that will tie in well, a little segue to where we said we were going to touch on today.
Yeah, we did. I knew.
Because I guess so essentially it's using your heart lips, getting real with yourself, feeling the emotions, expressing your emotions, talking about the emotions. And I think that ties in well with being real with yourself.
Yeah.
Which is what we were talking about before, because I think too many people are they either have an expectation, and if it's not met up in your own mind, like if it doesn't mesh with what's actually going on, then you get down on yourself, or you have it's another way to put that. So
Like an incongruency?
it's definitely incongruency with like your expectations incongruent with what you're actually doing in your life.
Yes, so the behaviours you're exhibiting
are
not congruent with where you want to go, but you still want to go there in your mind. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know how
I haven't had breakfast yet. So.
I got this. I got you.
So I think that's quite an important thing that we see it in our lives with our clients and people around us. I've done it before. I'm sure you've done it before at some point. And I know we're definitely getting better in the way we run our lives now, where we can either call ourselves out, and each other. You've done it to me before, where is that beneficial,
and vice versa.
Is that actually going to help you get to where you want to be? And sometimes it's okay to do that. Like as we just spoke about before, I enjoy playing a bit of PlayStation when there's a game that's warranted playing, and the reason I can do that and still have the success I'm going through is because, as you said, when we do focus, we can get 3 weeks worth of work done in an hour, maybe a little more than that. But in one day of focused work, we can achieve a lot.
Yep.
Therefore, we can have a bit of time to balance ourselves out with PlayStation, with having a craft beer night, with whatever we choose to do. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't quite understand, is that whole focused attention. And getting real with themselves and understanding that this is where I want to be. Let's not fluff around too much. Let's let's say yes to everything. Let's say yes to the things that are actually going to get us there, and then balance it out in the meantime with other stuff that we might need to do to make ourselves happy and just enjoy life.
And doing things for the sake of doing things because that's how they've been done, and that's what I'm conditioned to do.
Yeah,
it's the self-awareness.
The routine, the rut they sort of can't get themselves out of. Well, yeah, you can. It's almost people talk themselves into not getting out of something.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Why can't you? I'm in a routine, so stop it. It's not routines are pure. Right? Your
humans are binary. Don't do this. Do this instead.
Essentially, we are.
I would push back, but go on.
You don't have to do something.
No, you don't. No.
If you have a habit of smoking, you don't have to smoke.
I get what you're saying. No, I was talking about binary in our thought processes.
Well, no, we're not.
That's what I was going.
But we can have an on-off switch for anything we do.
Yep.
Right. If you don't want this habit anymore, stop fucking doing it.
100.
It's not that difficult, but we talk ourselves into, but it takes 3 weeks to change a habit, and then there's other things that come in, and life gets in the way. Well, no bullshit.
But I haven't seen this friend for 3 weeks. Fuck it, don't see him another 3 weeks. Who cares?
It's okay. If they're real friends, you can catch up again later.
Catch up with my friends once a year. They get me once a year, maybe twice if they're lucky, right? They know we're still friends.
It's you don't again. People just talk themselves into addictions or talk themselves into ruts, bad habits, where you don't have to do them. You can easily change something by the click of a finger and do something different immediately.
And I think for me, it's about understanding where you're at currently, taking stock of where you're at currently, right?
Yes.
Now, in the instance of, let's say, productivity, there's a question that I got actually on one of my emails I sent through. So I sent an email out and I have a little feedback form, and one of the questions came through was, how do you prioritize your time when you've got so much stuff to do, right? Like you've got all this stuff that you do. How do you isolate what's the most important at that time? The answer is I don't. I don't know where to start, and I just do what I can. But the deeper answer to that question is I need to, and you need to take stock of where things are at currently and project an idea of where things are going to be, right? For example, let's say I'm needing something done by this afternoon, right? It's like that whole like exams coming up, better study the day before. You know, if I need to get something done by this afternoon, cool, I'm going to prioritize that over everything else, right?
What's that? The quadrant of important,
non-important,
urgent, not urgent,
urgent,
and
not
have
urgent,
that quadrant sorted out.
and understand where that is.
Pretty much like that, right?
Yeah, and I take it a little step further where when I first wanted to become aware of where I was spending my time and what I was doing, I used the technology around me. So I used my phone, like straight up. Like your phone will tell you what apps you're spending time on, how long you're spending time on it, what time you're going to bed, how you're sleeping, like everything you can imagine, right? The beauty of having all this data is that you can then utilize that to get a better outcome for yourself.
Yep. Yep.
If you wish for, every single smartphone has like an app timer or a, what do you call it, like a daily usage timer.
Yep.
All right. And understanding when you use the last app and how often you open it, you know, all these different things, right? And going, actually putting data around your behavior to understand it, you can then go, oh, fuck. Like I'm opening my phone 75 times a day. You know, I'm looking at my phone 150 times a day. I'm on Instagram for 3 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like you can actually start to put data around that. And then you can then decide, all right, well, which things aren't working out for me, right? If you were spending 3 hours on Instagram and that 3 hours is getting you the result that you want to get in life, right? If your expectation is I want to be making money or, you know, studying, whatever it's going to be, right? If that's leading to that, fantastic, keep doing it, right? But we all know it's probably not.
Most likely not.
Right? So you go, well, what is going to be effective in this time? Should I be spending more time on email? Or should I be investing that time in, you know, messaging people or whatever it's going to be, right? Whatever it's going to be to get those outcomes and actually taking stock of, okay, here's where I'm spending my time on my phone. You can do the same thing on the computer where you can actually have a desktop tracker to tell you where you're spending your time on and taking stock of those 10-minute segments throughout the day. You know, throughout the day, I can't remember exactly the number, I can work it out, but you know, you've only got so many 10-minute segments in a day. You've got 6 per hour by 24 hours, right? Every 10 minutes you can take stock of what you're doing and you can actually see that data in real time as well. You know, and going, well, what I do is data guided, not data driven, right? I take things like, okay, here's where things are at, here's what I'm spending my time doing, here's where I want to be going, how do I then match them up? Whereas I think it's very uncommon from what my limited experience with people and you know, discussions and whatnot, very uncommon for people to take that time, to take that stock and go, here's what I'm doing right now. You know, I have no time. Well, let's break it down. You say you have no time, let's break down where you're at. You know, have no money. Okay, well, let's break down where you're spending your money. Have no energy. Okay, what are you doing to get energy? You know, taking the reasons that you're using to not do the things that you want to be doing and actually breaking them down a bit further.
Yep.
You know, let's actually be real with ourselves and be like, where are you doing this? You know, you don't have energy. Why? Are you sleeping? Are you eating well? Are you exercising? Are you meditating? You know,
I've got no time to exercise.
I've got time to exercise.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, and then you can use the other data to overlay. You know what I mean? So that was a big thing that I did probably about, I'd say 2 years ago. Like I was very aware of that, and then from that, you just kind of like 2 years later, you're like, I know where I'm spending my time.
Yep.
You know, and I take stock every 2 months maybe. Okay, where have I spend my time, what I'm doing? But generally, I know where I'm going to be doing things and where I'm investing my shit. I've put systems and boundaries in place that I don't do things, or I don't invest as much time, or I don't even look at that app, or I don't even look at, you know what I mean? Like, get rid of all the shit, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Very much minimalist in that regard, but you need to understand where you're at currently in order to then be real with yourself, as you said, to then take the next step forwards.
Yep. And I think you need to, as you pretty much said, you need to put things into place that are going to get you where you want to go. So for me, you know, before I started with the sixes, I did some things that helped me get into there. Then when I got in there, I'm like, okay, so now where do I want to go? Obviously, I don't want to be in this for the rest of my life, my career. So I found, okay, this is where I want to be. What do I need to get to that point? Okay, I need to go to uni, need to get a degree, need to go get my master's, need to go do this, this, and this. Let's start putting them in place straight away. and all of a sudden your life gets filled up with all these extra things. And it's pretty much the way I deal with my weeks and how I get things done and stay on top of everything is I pretty much use a quadrant without actually physically using a quadrant, where it's what do I need to get done? Like what's the absolutely necessity of what I need to get done so I don't fail a uni assignment, so I don't miss clients or whatever it might need to be. And I'll get them done first. That's the main focus. Okay, now all that's done, I'm on top of my assignments, I've seen my clients, I've done program design, that's all good. Now what? I get some of that stuff done. Then you sort of you start getting to the fluffier stuff as you start knocking these tasks off. At that point, you can either go, well, these are still 3 months away before they're due. I'm going to take a bit of time to just chill now and do whatever we're going to do. But you always know, you always have this feeling of, I guess it's a bit of safety, a bit of satisfaction that the main shit's done. I've got that sorted. You're going to wake up the next morning and all of a sudden you've got a whole heap of new stuff that needs to get done. You've got more clients to go see, you've got more trainings to go do, you've got more program designs to do. So again, you start knocking that stuff off. It may be even like as small as, I've got to take the bins out this morning. Like that's something I have to do because it's bin day and the bin's full and the lid comes shut. I need to get that done. And if they get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, that becomes the most important thing at that point for me. Go get the bin done. Then I come in, what's next? I've got to get this assignment done, blah, 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 whatever it's going to be. But I do very much prioritize what needs to be done, and I forget everything else while I'm getting that thing done. So I'm not worried about seeing clients during the afternoon if I've got shit to do in the morning.
Like the bins.
Like the bins. And I think that's where a lot of people do. They get overwhelmed with, I've got all this shit to do. Well, no, you don't. You got one thing to do. You can't really do more than one thing at a time with focus.
With focus?
Okay, obviously you can do 6 things at once, but it's going to be shit. So you focus on the one thing, and there's only one thing to worry about. Get that done. If you do that properly, like you focus properly, you get that done in half the time. Then you've got half that time extra to do something else.
Do you want some really good book? I know you know it. Eat That Frog.
Yeah, yep. Eat That Frog. Exactly.
Do you want to give that story real quick? Brian Tracy's book, Eat That Frog.
Do you want to do it because you brought it up? But I mean, I can.
Oh, I just want to hear your voice. Keep going.
So I listen to myself in the car. I have so much bass.
You do. It's like soothing when I listen to my helmet.
So Eat That Frog is essentially no one would really like to eat a frog because it's kind of. I don't know if he talks about it being cooked or raw. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
We'll go raw.
It's a frog getting.
Have you ever had frogs before, like frog legs?
Of course I have.
They're legit good. But
I know.
We're gonna go.
And caviar because I'm a fancy bitch, but whatever.
All that stuff. Nice. All about the fancy life. So we're gonna say no one likes to eat frogs. We're gonna go slimy live frogs.
Beautiful.
Cool. The idea behind Eat That Frog is if you get that done first, if you eat the frog first, then you get to enjoy everything else afterwards.
If the worst thing in your day is that you've got to eat a frog, right? And it's the grossest, slimiest, rawest, uncooked frog that you can find, and that's the worst thing you've got to get done in your day, do it first.
It only gets better from there.
It can only get better if you do it first. If you wait on it, and you wait until later to do it, you stress out about it.
Yep. There's another book, I think it's called either How to Eat an Elephant or How to Eat a Bicycle.
Both How to Eat an Elephant is a saying I used this morning.
Yeah.
Last night actually, in the gym. And I think How to Eat a Bicycle rings a bell for me.
Yeah, there might even be the exact same analogy, I'm not too sure, but essentially it's one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Because you look at it and you go, oh my god, eating a bicycle would be difficult because it's fucking metal. And an elephant is massive, but you can do it just by starting, just by doing something. And that's how you would take on the bigger tasks in your life. Whether it might be leaving a job to get started another job, getting into an industry, starting a relationship. You got to start with just the first bite and then work your way through it.
Do you want to give you a story?
I know you're going to, so I look forward to hearing this.
It's a rhetorical question, you know this. The other day,
podcast, everything's stories.
Everything's stories. So the other day, I utilised the Eat the Frog mentality, right? I utilised basically 3 different things, right? And I combined them into one, and I felt super fucking productive. So Tim Ferriss.
I just thought you said reductive for a second.
No, productive. So Tim Ferriss has a book, 4-Hour Work Week, most famous one, talks about trying to get more shit done in less time. That's basically what it is, so you can do more shit. Eat That Frog for Brian Tracy. Cool. And then there's another little thing that I try and do is write down 6 tasks in the evening. The main ones you do for the next day, right? Get them off your brain, and then attack them first. Right, the next day, same sort of little kind of blends into one kind of philosophy.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do all of them because I've had a few things that I've been just like neglecting subconsciously. I'm like, consciously neglecting because subconsciously I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. Like, you know, wherever they are. Now, on this day, I had, I had bills to pay. I had systems to set up around some other like monetary stuff, so accounting and renting and that kind of shit. I had something else to purchase. It must have been like a course or something, but I can't remember exactly what it was. And I had a whole bunch of messages to get back to and some emails to get back to, right? Now, I didn't start officially with clientele until like, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And I got myself up at 5 a.m. I was like 5 to 6, right? Still kind of tired, right? The night before I wrote out what I need to get done, right? Bam, 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 bam. The big things, the frog things. You're going to pay this much money. I don't want to pay that much money.
No one likes to pay bills.
I don't pay any money, but I wrote it down, this much money, like thousands of dollars, multiple thousands, right? I don't want to do that. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Then I was like, buy this, do that, don't know, whatever it come down to be. Well, the night before, I got up at 5 a.m. because I was like, I'm going to be a little bit tired, right, when I do that, and I'm just going to fucking do it. Just bam, bam, bam. Pay, forget about it, do the next thing. By like midday, I'd forgotten what I'd done in the morning, knowing that I'd done it, right? So it's a big stress off my brain.
Yep.
All right, but it was like literally 5 to 6 because between like 5 and 6 a.m. this is what I feel and what I kind of work with. You're not gonna get messages from people. You're not gonna get phone calls from people. Most people are still in bed. You know, there's no other distractions. So you get up and attack that day early, right? In that hour period between 5 and 6, I got so much shit done. Right, so much shit done. And what I did, I set things in motion for next shit to occur. Mm-hmm. You know, like the messages that I sent weren't like, hey, I need a response about this right now. If I send a message, I don't need a response right now. Right? I'm not expecting that. Yep. You know, because that's how I expect when people message me, that's what they're going to get in return. I'm not going to write back to you straight away when I see it. When it's actionable, then it'll come up, right? So I was like, did all the stuff, paid the bills, sent the messages out, which was like, hey, follow up with this, let's do this in future, whatever it's going to be. And like I said, the rest of the day I was like, I feel like I've got nothing to do. Like I've got more shit to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I feel like, oh shit, that's a hell of a weight off my chest right now.
It's so much more relaxing.
Yes.
Like mentally.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Yes.
There's no stress on, I've got to get this done. You're like, you know what? I can choose to do this right now and get ahead a bit more. Or, you know, I can just leave it and then do it. That can be my top 6 tomorrow.
Yep.
And then it's great for, especially us in a service-based industry, is we then get to go to our clients and they don't feel our stress on shit that we need to get done or haven't done yet.
The energy comes off like, you got to pay some
Exactly.
bills? I'm like, how do you know?
You put on that fucking Mickey Mouse hat and get to work. So that's pretty much how, well, by the sound of it, both of us run our lives.
Yeah.
Is prioritize the shit that needs to get done and then put focus into like
And be
direct focus.
self-aware
Yeah.
what you're avoiding. Be self-aware and of the things you need to look at, like, you know,
Honest with yourself.
honest with yourself.
So not just self-aware, because you can still lie, but self-aware and then go, you call yourself out.
You change
and,
shit.
This is not
Stop
working.
trying to justify shit. Stop trying to beat around the bush.
Yep.
Understand where your limitations are at, and then work from there.
Absolutely.
I want my vision is like this, like everyone's just chilling because they get their shit done. You know, I don't want people to work. You know what? I don't want people to work 40 hours a week, right? No. I don't want to work 40 hours a week, but I will. I don't want other people to have to work 40 hours a week. Right?
Unless you just love what you do.
Well, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like to fill in the space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've got to be at work 40 hours a week, or standard, whatever. I think it's 41 or 40 hours, whatever it's going to be.
We wouldn't know. We've never done
I've no idea.
a real job.
Real job. In hot questions.
Yeah.
You know, because of.
Yep.
You know, whereas I think most of the time, I just have this feel that we could function as a human society on a lot less than that, right? Still get the same output done,
Yep.
right? On a lot less than that function, and people would be happier and more able to connect and more, they would enjoy their lives more, and it would just be a better place to be in, mentally, physically, psychologically, wherever, because everyone's like, okay, cool, I don't need to be filling 8 hours of time spent here doing this shit. I can be like, I got that done in 2 hours, and now I'm going to go enjoy time with my family.
From what I hear from most office workers, the 8 hours is probably half of it's fluff bullshit.
Yeah, study. 3 hours of a day, 3 hours, 3 to 3.5 hours.
It's nothing.
Is non-productive work. Responding to emails that aren't like they're just conversational emails, hanging out, getting coffee, whatever it is. You know, that I can't remember what that study was, but I love to quote it.
That's pretty cool, because if you could cut off 3 hours of work out, like 3 hours or 3 office hours out a day,
That's 15 hours a week.
that's 15 hours you can get other shit done.
That's a whole day a week.
That's or 2 work days extra a week.
Yeah, or not even get other shit done. Just relax and be you.
Just enjoy life.
Jesus,
You get the same amount of money for less, like
effectively
less fluff work.
But you could do. I think about it in regards to like, if we can do more in less time, right? Let's say then you go, right, you've got 15 hours. We're going to take 7 hours to do your own shit, and then we're going to add more stuff on. Right? If we want to progress something,
Yep.
or we want to explore ourselves more. Like I want to spend more time now understanding myself. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's going to benefit everyone around me and myself.
Yep.
Right? You know what I mean? Like all these different things, and so we can be better by being self-aware, being honest, and actually, think about what we're doing and where we're spending our time and our energy, our limited resources. On that note,
On that note,
we'll see you next week
on
the Martha Show.
extra.